People don't follow strength. They follow the feeling that you are unpredictable and cannot be controlled. You think people ignore you because you're not powerful. Wrong. They ignore you because you feel safe. No risk, no tension, no consequence. And here's what's dangerous. People don't respect calm people. They respect people they can't figure out. Today, you'll learn how to build an aura that makes people hesitate before testing you. Most people don't notice this, but your presence is already being judged, not by your words, but by how easy you are to read. And right now, people are reading you faster than you think. The invisible weakness. You're in a conversation. You start speaking. Someone cuts you off and keeps talking. You pause. You smile. You let it go. Seems small, but this is where it starts. Humans have a simple instinct. They push until they feel resistance. If there's none, they push further, not because they hate you, because they can. That's the uncomfortable truth. People don't test strong people, they test safe people. And if you feel easy to interrupt, easy to joke about, easy to ignore, your presence becomes optional. Respect doesn't disappear loudly. It fades in small moments like this. So the shift is simple. Stop trying to be liked. Start being harder to read. Because the moment people don't know how you'll respond, they slow down, they think twice. And that hesitation is where respect begins. What's one moment where someone crossed a line and you said nothing? The reaction trap. Someone makes a joke about you. Not a friendly one, a sharp one. And then they look at your face. They're not joking, they're testing. This is where most people lose all respect without realizing it, because the moment you react instantly, you give them something valuable. Access. Your face changes, your tone shifts, your energy reacts. Now they know where your buttons are, and once someone knows that, they can control how you feel. That's how subtle dominance works. Not through force, through reaction. Here's the part no one tells you. People don't need to be stronger than you to control you. They just need to trigger you. So the shift is not to fight back. It's to pause. Delay your response by just a few seconds. Look at them. Say nothing. Let the moment stretch. Because in that silence, something flips. Now they feel exposed. Now they don't know what you're thinking. And this is where it becomes dangerous. When people can't read your reaction, they lose control of the situation. The power of controlled stillness. You think silence is weakness, but manipulators fear it the most. Watch what happens when you don't react. Someone throws a comment at you. You don't laugh. You don't explain. You don't defend. You just look and stay still. Suddenly the energy changes. They start filling the silence. They talk more. They adjust, they backtrack. Why? Because uncertainty creates pressure. Loud people feel strong because they express, but silent people create tension because they don't, and tension makes people uncomfortable. Most people rush to remove that discomfort. That's why they talk too much, explain too much, react too fast. But when you don't, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability creates a quiet kind of fear, not loud fear, controlled fear, the kind that makes people careful around you. So the shift is this. Don't rush to respond. Observe first. Let them reveal themselves, because the one who reacts first usually loses position, and the one who stays still controls the frame. The aura mechanism. Most people think aura is personality. It's not. It's patterns, small things, repeated, the way you look, the way you move, the way you respond or don't. Imagine this. You walk into a room. You don't try to be seen. You don't rush. You don't scan for approval. You move slower than everyone else. You make eye contact, but you don't hold it too long. You respond, but only when needed. You don't fill silence. You let it sit. This is where your presence starts doing the work, not your words, because humans are constantly scanning one thing. Can I predict this person? If the answer is yes, they relax. If the answer is no, they pay attention. That's the mechanism. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to dominate conversations. You just need to remove patterns. Sometimes you speak, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you respond fast. Sometimes you pause. Controlled unpredictability. That's what creates aura. If you are building this level of control, subscribe to IL Codex, because this is not about acting different. It's about becoming harder to read. The ruthless identity shift. Someone tries again. Another comment. Another test. Another push. But this time, nothing lands. You don't react the same way. You don't explain. You don't adjust. You stay the same, calm, still, unreadable. And now something changes. They stop pushing, because there's nothing to grab onto. No reaction, no signal, no access. This is the final shift. If people can't access your emotions, they can't control your behavior. And if they can't control your behavior, they stop trying. But here's the part most people avoid. If you don't become this, people will keep testing you forever. Not once, not sometimes, always, because humans repeat what works. So if reacting works, they'll keep doing it until you remove the reward. This is not about acting tough. It's about becoming unavailable for manipulation, not cold, not distant, just controlled. Do you think silence shows weakness or control? Final power realization. People don't follow strength, they follow emotional signals. If you react fast, they feel safe. If you explain too much, they feel above you. If you stay predictable, they stop respecting you. But the moment you slow down, the moment you become harder to read, everything shifts. They hesitate, they think, they adjust. Not because you said something powerful, but because you became something they can't control. So forget trying to dominate people. Remove access. That's where real power begins. The moment you stop reacting, their game ends. If you're building a mind that stays calm under pressure, subscribe to IL Codex. And from this point on, watch carefully. Not what people say, but what they do when they can't read you anymore.